Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Hockey Thursday Talks, hosted by Inline Hockey Ireland. So uh, we don't have the usual talk about leaving your mic off and so on and so on. We've changed our little program here. We're now broadcasting live from Facebook. So if you have any questions, please feel free to comment down below. And Michael, at the end of the talk, will relay those questions to our guest. So my name is Ken Musat, and we have Michael Crean also here as hosts. And today we'll welcoming our first guest in season 2 of the Hockey Thursday Talk. Please welcome Erwin Laberdesque from the Mexican national team. Hola, Erwin. We're glad to have you here. How are you doing?
Well, thank you very much. I'm doing very fine. Thank you for the invitation, from the consideration to our federation and our team. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, when we have our guest on Hockey Thursday Talk, we always like to know a little bit more about our guests. And can you tell us a little bit about your hockey career, whether it was in ice hockey, inline hockey, floorball, hockey ball, whatever?
Well, I have been playing hockey for 18 years. Okay, those 18 years inline hockey. Then, like at my fourth year playing inline hockey, I started playing ice hockey. The reality is that I don't like a lot to play ice hockey. I prefer 100% inline hockey. I have a brief pass on ball hockey also. So it has been a pretty good 18 years of good hockey, you know.
And so when you started hockey, what was, because we're, in Europe a bit far from Northern America, and sometimes our geography is a bit there. So what was the name of your first hockey club?
Well, as I comment, in Mexico, we're divided by states. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so each state must and need to have the minimum of one team. So I play with the state of Coahuila, it's called, and
Mm-hmm.
our hockey club was called Coyotes. So we play as Coyotes. I play for them for 16 years. Then I go back to my hometown. Now I play with Warriors here at my home dirt. My hometown is Nuevo León. So I play with Warriors right now.
And so, before we go deeper into your hockey career, the rest of your hockey career, even now, one question would be like, have you ever played outside of Northern America, like such as in Europe or South America, Asia, whatever?
Well, I have the luck. I can say I have been blessed to play with national team. So I've been played in Europe, in America, and in the United States, in South America. And now I'm playing with an American club called Aztecs down in California. So it's pretty good. It's pretty exciting and interesting going to play other parts of the world and met a lot of good players from other parts of the world and a lot of new cultures, a lot of level, you know. So it's got been an amazing road that I've been traveling.
Hmm. And you mentioned California, and we all know that's pretty much like the place of inline hockey, in Northern America. How is it like to play in there?
It's pretty tough, you know, because it's the tougher place I have played hockey in these 18 years because they, I think they all the kids are born with skates on their feet, you know. So it's pretty awesome to go and watch the games of the U6 players, U8 players, U10 players, and you see them in like this little kid can beat me in a one-on-one, you know. So as they grow up, they have this hockey culture. So there's a lot of level, there's a lot of good players, and having the to compete against them is pretty awesome. It's a pretty good experience. I recommend it 100%. I think level calls level. So if you play against these guys that have like they are over here and you're like here, in question of time, you can get better. So it's pretty awesome to go to the United States and play, and more in California, you're like a pretty good spot, pretty good place to go and play hockey.
How did the chance to get to play the Aztecs come about? And like, is it a sake of just driving for an hour or two and you're there, or how do you
Yeah,
travel up
well,
to play over there?
uh, I live nearby the border, the Texas border, so uh, it's funny because I have never played in Texas, so I need to take a flight to LA to go to play in California, or I need to go on plane on the border that is from California to Chihuahua. So I have like a 2 hours flight to Chihuahua, and then I cross by a tunnel, and then it's 2 hours on car. So I made like 5 hours, 6 hours of the road trip
Mm-hmm.
to go and play over there. But it all worth it because we are used to drive or to take buses or planes, and it's all about the game. It's all about to have fun, to go more to go with your teammates and play, to hang around with them, to hang out with them, to rent an Airbnb or a hotel room or a house, and it's a pretty good experience. So we we're used to it.
So if you were to, let's say, one day come to Ireland and just travel 1 or 2, 3 hours to just play 1 or 2 games, it would be a piece of cake for you.
Yeah, actually, yeah, yeah, we can
What I
say
did.
that.
It,
Yeah.
it makes our Longford road trip seem like a trip around the corner.
It's because it's like you love the game, so you want to play the game. You are here to playing the game because you like it, not because something like made you play the game. In our age, we got our jobs, we have our own money, so we can use that money to make the things that we like. So we like to play hockey. So why is like a sacrifice to go to a 2 hour, 3 hour ride or drive to go and play something that you like it. Here in Mexico, we don't have like a lot of rinks, so we need to go and make that in order to play. So as you comment me on Ireland, you have two rinks. So if you want to play hockey, you need to get there. So if you like to play hockey, you don't have any other like you need to make that, you know. So that's like a difference, a huge difference, like in the United States, because they have rinks all over the country, all over the states. So that's why they have this hockey culture, and that's why they are champions, world champions, because they have a lot of massive players, and of course they are development. They have a good development because they play all the week. They practice from Monday to Friday, and they have their leagues on Sunday and Saturday and Sunday. We our the small hockey countries, we can't afford to make that do that because we don't have only 3 4 championship tops. We only play 15 games a year, so it's pretty unfair, you know. But it is what it is. We have what we have.
Yeah, but I suppose, like, if we take out, the essential from what you said is that passion for the sport is
Yeah.
what's really important here.
Yes.
And at some point, you mentioned something, about playing against players that are above here and they help you, get better. Um, do the players that play, in California come back later on in Mexico and help, even other players or juniors, you know, being better, talking about progress. I remember we talked about offline, having like a progress for the whole, country, the whole nation, and juniors, seniors, and so on. So, how does that work?
Well, here in Mexico, unfortunately, we don't have good processes. Why? Because we don't have a lot of power of the people to know the sport. Because I take an Uber to the rink and they see me with my hockey stick and they tell me, "Ah, you play golf," and I was, "Well, no, I play hockey." And the hockey here in Mexico, hockey here in Monterrey, where's the ice? I do not play ice hockey. I play inline hockey. And in all part of Mexico, we live in a country that only soccer matters, not football, not baseball, not volleyball, but soccer. So in order to us to compete with the other minor sports, it's a bit tough because first of all, we don't have like the media to make us know. So we don't have that. So we do not have a lot of young players, kids who come and show to the ring. I want to play hockey. We need to go and find them. Where to private schools because we know that playing hockey is not cheap. We need to go to private schools, or we may like Facebook pages, or we go to the radio or TV. I don't know, but unfortunately here in Mexico we do not have that hockey culture. So it's pretty sad because of the in the tournaments or in the championship, the the junior teams they only have 6 players, 7 players, and you see the senior and they have 20 players on one team on one club. So we do not have the right processes because now talking about the national team, we see below us, and we do not see a lot of people that can come and cross the line to make the senior team, because we do not have that kids, that processes to make them better. So it's pretty tough playing hockey here in Mexico because of that, because uh, we do not have that massive convocatory, or I don't know if that's the word. Sorry, but it's pretty tough. So that's why a lot of people they start playing at seniors at over 20s, 30s, 40s. I know a guy that is 55, I think, and he started playing like 2 years ago. First of all, because they got the money to buy their equipment. So with that they can go out and play. Even if they cannot skate, if they cannot have handles or something, they have the equipment, they can go out and play. A little kid that depends a lot of their parents and all that, they cannot afford a lot of things. So in that, we need to like, okay, I have an extra pair of gloves, take them. I have an extra helmet, take it. And we had the responsibility to make them like play hockey. And that's a lot of problem we have here in Mexico.
And do we see that it's starting to grow again in Mexico? Do we see numbers going up, or is it declining, stagnating?
I can say that in all the country, like in Mexico City, yes, I can say yes, because in Mexico City there's a lot of hockey clubs, mostly ice hockey. They have a lot of ice hockey rinks that down there in Mexico City, and there are 2 or 3 teams that they have their juniors. We have one team specifically, the Raptors, that they have their 5-year old kids, and they make their correct processes. The Raptors, I know another, the Matlas, I think they're called, and they have a lot of young kids. But in the other parts, like outside Mexico City or that area, we do not have. It's because uh, I'm not the coach here at my hometown. I have another jobs and this and that, but it's not like the coach is going to go and search for another kid. I don't know how to explain. It's growing, but pretty slow, pretty slow. 10 years ago, it was a different story. There, in Mexico, we had a lot of teams, a lot of juniors, a lot of women's playing hockey. I don't know what happened. I actually don't know what happened. So we're trying to make an impact as a national team, the senior national team, to make those kids to want to come to play with us. I don't know if I can explain myself, but we as a national team, we want to make that make them understand that the better thing you can do on sports is represent your country,
Mm-hmm.
but not just represent your country in a way that I went and I lost. No, it's like to represent your country. It means you need to train harder. You need to get more strength. You need to work on your handles. You need to make this and this and this, and that can bring your team, your club, bigger, so you can have a shot to come and play with the national team. So this is practically our idea. So I hope that Mexico's hockey can uh, get on the track again and have more players, because in juniors and in women's we do not have a lot of players.
And so you were talking about, that lack of players, but here's the next question in terms of development. What kind of initiative is, planned or discussed within the Federation of Inline Hockey in Mexico? Are there any plans or even cooperation with the US or California that has, a more developed federation? Is there any help from them or anything like
Unfor-
that?
Unfortunately, I do not know, because it's not like we speak with that with our federation. We try to make our things and let them make their things. The only thing that, as I told you, we try as a national team to make an impact.
Mm-hmm.
So I know they're trying, because here in Mexico, the thing is, if you are not an Olympic sport, you do not count a lot for our support,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So as inline hockey is not an Olympic sport, not even a Pan American sport, because we do not enter on the here in America, we have the Central American Games, the Pan American Games, and
Mm-hmm.
the Olympic Games. Okay, I don't know how it's in Europe, uh, but the inline hockey do not enter on Central American Games or Pan American Games or Olympic Games. Speed skate it is, and artistic skate it is. So they got a lot of support, not only by the federation, but by the Olympic Committee, you know.
Yeah.
And us, that we are not Olympic, we do not get that support. We only get the support of the federation. So the hockey, as I told you, is not very popular. So here is we have the country Olympics. So I can we can call them like that, where the juniors compete from in the states. So they gather all the clubs or the states in one state and play for the championship, and that has a award for the country, you know. But they're trying to take hockey out, like some other sports. So the federation is fighting to not uh, not to be kicked out. So it's pretty tough for a sport that is not well known or without the big gun support, like the Olympic Committee or the all the CONADE is the I don't know how to say, the association that um, support all these sports, but it's pretty tough.
I suppose that those are challenges that we can relate to. Isn't that right, Michael?
Yeah, I think it's probably the same for a lot of the smaller nations. It's an uphill battle to get any support or publicity. So it's
Oh,
probably, I think,
obviously,
anything we can share.
obviously, the federation make their effort. You like we are well attended at the World Championship. They, as I told you, they took us to Colombia 6 months ago. Won't play. Uh, so the federation treat us well, but obviously the money isn't unlimited, you know. So the federation have struggles, administration, all the speed. Now the skateboard is Olympic. I think it's pretty dumb, but well, we cannot like argument with that. So you have the skate, the speed, the artistic, the downhill, the inline. So the federation had to break his head and okay, this guy, this is for this guy, this for this guy, this for these guys. So it is what it is.
I guess I can speak for every inline hockey player when we say that we hope that happens one day.
Yeah.
And even though we have all those challenges, I would like to come back to on some positive notes. And um, because you are a national team player, and I think we have already learned a lot from you, and we can learn a lot from you even more. Before that, I wanted to ask you, what was your most memorable experience, out of the World Games, as a national team player? Because I think you've participated in at least three of them, the past three. At least one in Barcelona, one in Asiago, isn't that right?
Two in well, we play against Ireland two times in Asiago.
Yeah.
You guys, they beat us the first time, then the second time we beat them. It was pretty fun. Actually, it was pretty fun playing with the Ireland team. It's because at Asiago, I'm the only national member of that team that repeated on Barcelona. So it was a complete different team, different goalies, different everything, different coach. So we were struggling during all the tournament because we played against Ireland. I think it was the second game.
Yeah, it was day two. Yeah.
It was, I'm not lying, it was our second game together as a team. So it was pretty tough, but it was pretty fun. We learned a lot about it, and I think it was the last game
Yeah.
against you guys. We were more like compenetrated, more relaxed, and I think that's why the well, that happened. I got the luck to score two goals on that game.
Oh,
I don't remember if I score now here in Barcelona against Team Ireland, but also it was pretty fun. And it was it's always pretty fun. It's pretty fun because do you not have like an established system, and you let us play and we let you play. So I'm a soccer fan, I'm a
mhm.
sports fan, so I know a lot of tactics and all that, so it was pretty fun. And to answer your question, one of the most important as a national member, as a national team player, is when I score against Czech Republic on the World Cup in Argentina. Uh, I think this was my best goal. I scored against Spain. I score against Czech Republic. So it was pretty awesome for me because I came from very, very, very low. As I commend you on my first team, we do not have a lot of friends in the country. So we were like the ugly duck always on the tournaments. My team were always like, oh, they come, the Coyotes, eh, So I think hockey came late for me because I think that work beat talent. So one of the best things that could happen to me is to get on the national team. In 2010, I was junior captain. I was named MVP from the federation, from the Fears, from Mexican team. So I have lived a lot of good experiences here and as a national member, and my idea is to continue to making that.
Going back to the games against Ireland, like 2018 was Ireland's first year in the World Championships. Did you guys know that, and what was your thinking going into playing the new guys? And in terms of going into strategy, did you think it was going to be, what type of game were you expecting from Ireland, given that this is their debut?
On the first game or the
Yeah,
second
and
game?
the first game, because I think that was our second ever game too internationally. So
Well, we didn't expect anything. We didn't try to focus on the other team because we have a lot of struggles enough to like be cared, So our strategy was defend as hell, and try to score whenever you can. You know, I don't remember how was the score. I think it was 4-1, 4-2, or you beat
It
us.
was 3-1, something like that.
Yeah,
I think.
I don't really remember, but the thing I remember it was pretty fun for me because I play forward, so I I could move in every position of the ring. So we didn't expect to be such like an even game. You know, I don't know if you see it that way. I see it like we had like an even game, even though the result it was like for you guys. But I think we could well after the game I thought that we could really beat these guys. You know, maybe from for luck or whatever, but it was pretty good because we take our revenge in the second game.
Yeah, big time. Okay.
Big time.
Oh, thank you, Erwin. Now for all our guests, I don't know if anybody has followed our first season here, but we get like a little hockey challenge for you
Okay,
coming up. Okay, so the first question would be, who is your favorite ice or inline hockey player?
Alexander Ovechkin, all the way.
Not a bad choice.
No, yeah,
uh,
I remember him when I was 12 years old, 13 years old, and I saw that goal against Phoenix when we were like falling down, and I was like, I got in love with that guy. So now I see him on the TV with all that gray hair, and I was like, damn, I'm getting older too. But yeah, Alexander Ovechkin, no doubt.
okay, so next question, and you can be biased if you want. That's absolutely no problem about that. What is your favorite ice and inline hockey national team?
Ice hockey, well, of course, Washington, and in inline hockey, the Czech Republic. I love how I love to see the Czech Republic games. You know, it's pretty awesome for me to be at the on my seat and watching them play. It's pretty awesome. That and France because of the speed of their game. You know, they're I think they're the fastest players in the world. So seeing them like that moving and all that, I learned a lot from them. But so Czech Republic and France.
The next question would be, what is your favorite ice hockey rink and what is your favorite inline hockey rink?
Actually, I haven't played in a lot of ice rinks, you know, so maybe I cannot answer that question with
Hmm.
a rink well known. And inline hockey rink, actually in France, when the World Cup in 2014, it was a pretty good rink. It was on a stadium, a closed stadium, a lot of seats, a lot of people, and at Cali. I think it was in Cali, in California, in Colombia. So the stairs are too close for the ring, so you can have the sensation that the fans, the people that are watching the game, you have them like 3 meters outside. So it was pretty fun playing over there.
So super atmosphere.
Yeah,
So thank you, Erwin. So now we might have a couple of questions from the audience. So I will let Michael take those questions and hand them to you.
don't be scared. You can ask whatever you want. Yeah, we
Yeah, we've got a few questions coming in. The first one is Francois, and she asks, "What's your ambition as a national team in the next few
so
years?"
our ambition to make an impact to tell the world that Mexico can grow, that can compete with high level teams. Uh, as I told you offline, in with all the respect for my former teammates on the national team, I think this is the most talented and well and most prepared in physically, mentally, hockey, all in the Mexican history. So, and we show that on Barcelona, playing against teams like Sweden, that we only lost from one goal. So I think our ambition is to make that statement, because unfortunately we let we have a bad taste at Asiago in the 16 when we play in Pool A. Obviously, we lost against Czech Republic and Italy. We play another team. I'm not going to say it because for the respect for me for that team, but they pretty like trash talk a lot before the game, because Czech Republic scored on us a lot of goals. Italy scored on us a lot of goals, and these guys were like, these Mexicans do not know how to play hockey, so we can beat them very easy. And we gave them a pretty tough time. We lost 6-4, I think, 5-3, something like that. And if we would have more time, I think we could like tie the game or even beat them. So maybe answering the question is that make the statement that Mexico is here and we can compete for a good level of hockey.
And next up from Carlos is what does a so-called small country team need to compete against the so-called Pool A nation teams?
Ooh. First of all, I think uh, determination, responsibility, because now in the lockout, uh, we know we can go and play to the rinks or make whatever or our open air like practices and training. But we have in the national team, we have our group, and constantly we're sending like, hey, I'm training this, I'm training my body, I'm eating well. So I think every player need to take that responsibility to say, okay, what I want to do to get better. So if one player can do that, all the team can do that. So obviously with other more things like more games, more preparation games, maybe go and play another in our case to go to the States and play more tournaments to, as I like told you before, if they are here, we're here, try to reach them. So I think a small country can compete with a big country, strictly about hockey, but it just like the small country need to be prepared for that. If they want it, they can reach it. But obviously, they have more things to go. So I think that's it.
On
I know
top of
if
that,
I know I don't know if I answered the question. I don't know if I like make my statement clear.
yeah, but to follow on, like how is the preparation in Mexico for the World Championships? Like how are players selected? Do you meet to train
Okay,
regularly or?
so we have like some statements or some rules we have to follow. For example, there are 3 tournaments of the year here in Mexico. So in order to be able to be selected for a pre-list, you need to attend those tournaments. You need to play in those tournaments. Second thing is you need to be You need to well, the coach is monitoring your physical state, your health state, and then they gather us in some place. It can be here, it can be at Mexico City, it can be another state. So they make us like tests, physical tests, psychological tests, and all that, and technical tests, of course. And then we got some practices, team practices, and then the coach is like, okay, yes, 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 because this. The coach this past year and this year is pretty open minded. He listened to us. He's open to, hey, what about if we can make this, how about if we can do this. So I think he's a pretty he gave us a lot of confidence, and also we get a lot of confidence with him, sorry. And that's practically how you can reach the national team, obviously attending to the tournaments, being in a good state, physical, healthy, and hockey state, and winning. You know, uh, our team, well, my team, my club, we are second place in the national tournaments. So we have 5, 6 guys of the national team on my team. The champions, they have four members of their team, and then another like on the other pool A, because here in Mexico we have pool A and pool B. So if you want to be on the national team, you must play in the pool A. So something like that.
Thank you, Erwin. I don't think we have any further questions. So I guess we're finishing up here. So on behalf of Cork Wolfpack, who's partnered with IHI for Inline Hockey Island, we thank you again for being here with us, Erwin, and being the first guest of this second season of Hockey Thursday Talk. And we would like to say to everybody that if you have any questions that you didn't think of right now during the live, you're free to send us those questions and we'll relay them to you, Erwin, if that's okay.
Yeah,
so we have recorded this session. It will still be available on Facebook, but we'll also post it on YouTube. So don't forget to put a like, share, because all those talks are here to shine a light on everybody that tries to bring the light to our sport that we all love. So thank you to everyone who joined, and see you next week. And I'll let you finish up on this, Michael.
Cheers, Cam. Cheers for joining us, Erwin, and we hope to see you in the next World Championships, wherever they may be.
Sure. Thank you very much for the invitation, for thinking in us, my federation, for talk a bit of Mexican hockey. You have the invitation to whenever you want to come. You're very welcome here. I'm glad to be part of this start of the season 2. I wish you the best, and have a good time, have a good hockey time, and be safe with this coronavirus and all that. So hope we can keep in touch. And thank you very much again.
Cheers. Let's end up now.
Thank you.